I'm not even gonna give you an intro. This is gonna blow your mind. Say hello to Matt. You've
Hello.
seen Matt before at Gladstone, when I was judging the Gladstone Drift Comp for, sorry, the L2 class, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so how did you go on that again?
Got to top 8 and then got knocked out by Ben Barnes.
One of my comp favourites, so let's go down and, I'm not even gonna tell you guys what it is, let's check this out. How long have you had these for?
The oldest one I've had for almost 10 years. Yeah, so that was my learner car, and just kept a hold of it, could never sell it. And all the other ones, they've just sort of come over the years. Some 6 months ago, some a couple of years ago, and eventually ended up with all of this.
Now your dad's into this as well, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He's probably most of the reason that I have no money and lots of cars, so I'll blame him. Thanks, John.
This is gonna blow your mind. It already blew my mind. I walked down here straight away. I saw the Z, I saw the 32, and then it got even better. Is your heart beating in your chest yet? Is it beating yet? What about now? What about now? Alright, Matt, you gotta run us through some of these.
Alright, where are we starting?
Oh,
Should we just start
let's
here?
start with the
It's
32.
easiest place to start.
You guys recognise this from the Gladstone Drift Comp. This was the 1JZ 32 that Matt was driving.
Yeah, so I've had this for, I don't know, a year maybe. Before this I had an old 180, it was just getting pretty rough. Decided to reshell it and this came up. Yeah, so it's a 1.5 JZ, T56, twin plate clutch, usual stuff really, link ECU. I don't know, we can open the box.
Yeah, let's have a look around.
None of this is the most exciting. I will forewarn everybody. Like,
dude, this is not exciting. What?
it's the beta. It's the beta. Yeah. It's tuned by a friend of mine, Max and Rex, On Song Performance. Do the tuning for everything. So shout out to them. It's very helpful. But yeah, it's been pretty much bulletproof for the whole time that I've had it. We did end up bending the old stock rods in the 180. Yeah, so it's all forged stuff now. But yeah, that's about the story of this vehicle. It's wise fab, but I don't know whether you need it, but that's what it has.
Hey, you do need wide fab with a 32. That's 32 stock, like completely stock, not the greatest lock.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about doing the S13 conversion, like doing the S13 coilovers and the whole front end, and then I don't know.
Popular mod.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, real popular.
For the guys that don't know, S and R chassis, double wishbone suspension, S chassis, McPherson, so a more solid setup. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'd never had any experience with this before, so I thought it might be kind of fun to try something different. And I know people talk about them being drastically different to drift, so thought we'd have a go.
Man, if you ever do that one day, I want to come for a joyride.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'll probably do it to mine too.
For sure.
I like how you've got the two up clear headlight things with light bars behind it, so it looks 32 like.
Kinda. They're awful. They don't actually function.
They don't work very well.
Headlights. No, terrible. But you know, it was a lot cheaper than buying actual 32 headlights now, like $1,000 for a pair of headlights. So.
Yeah, check out the inside in the daytime. Now that we're not at Gladstone.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. Usual stuff, naughty, whatever. It's a power tune dash, which has been great. Never had one before. Used to just like having gauges all over the dash and not having any idea what's going on, so it's been a bit of a upgrade to be able to see some data. So
genuine Gunner doors or GK Tech?
No, GK Tech.
I like your control box in the center there.
Thank you.
What is that?
That was some J-Car or something, the electronics store. So a lot of the stuff, like I tried to, I don't know whether spend money in the right place is the correct term, but I blew too much on the engine is what that means, and couldn't afford to buy fancy switch panels and things, but it works. And then we just ignore all of this kind of imperfection.
No! Yeah. I love this, I said that last time too.
You did, yeah. It's got a few battle scars. So.
We're 32 buddies.
Yeah, that's it. But it gets used. This is probably the car that gets driven the most of all of mine, so I don't care too much if it's got a bit of damage, and it's a bit of character, as you were saying before. It's all got a story, so.
I love the front fitment you have on that, it's great.
Yeah, they're not the correct wheels.
So you got the GTR wide body over fenders on the rear. It doesn't have on the front.
No, it
They're
doesn't.
GTST
They're just
fronts.
stock metal GTST fenders and some crappy little eBay flares. So yes.
What's the kit you currently have on it? Like
this is Origin Streamline, the rear bar.
Yep.
The side skirts, I believe, are some sort of like eBay copy of something. They came with the shell, so I'm not actually 100% sure.
Okay.
And the front bar is a Duloc rep, I believe, which I did have the rear bar, but that's long gone. But I didn't mind it. Yeah. But it's hard to get aero parts for these now. You know, like Origin don't really stock anything for them, and BN's just really expensive just to go and run over it. So it doesn't bother me too much. I just went with what I had. Yeah.
Let's move on to something else. What's your next favorite?
We can go here if you want. We'll just go in order.
Yeah. All right, let's go in order.
Yeah. So
Okay. So for the guys that don't know Toyotas,
this is a 90 Mark II.
a 90 Mark II, JZX 90, and the one at the back there, is it also?
That's a 100 Cresta.
100
Yeah.
Cresta.
So the kind of forgotten child of the JZX 100 family. It's not a Chaser. It's not a Mark II, but it is a JZX 100.
I always get them. I apologize if I get them muddled at all at any point
It
today.
takes ages to figure all this stuff out.
Oh, you're
Takes
gonna be
way
like
too
a
long.
Toyota fanatic as well. Like some of like this is little trims and stuff. Like
Oh, I have no idea. People tell me that with these, like this shouldn't have that color interior or whatever. I don't know. I like it. So.
okay, so this one was your street car.
Yes. Yeah. Until a few months ago. Yes.
It was very tough. Show you guys, and then we'll get Matt to tell us some details about it. I like that all your cars are still very clean.
Oh, thank you. Some of them need a vacuum.
And they have back seats.
Yes, it does. Yeah. It's a practical vehicle.
I'm trying not to trip on all the cool cars. If I owned a Toyota, it would probably look exactly like this. This is like street spec, hot boy awesomeness. Something I'd expect to see just ripping it up outside Daikoku Futo.
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of what I was going for.
Okay, so tell us a bit about this.
Yes, so I bought this car as a shell. It is originally a turbo diesel shell. Yes, I know, JZX people, you don't like that, but that's what it is. 2JZ GTE, BVTI, T56, twin plate clutch, similar to this. Similar size turbo, link ECU again, all that kind of thing. It's relatively stock, aside from it's got a GT86 Torsen diff, BC coilovers, JZX 100 brakes. That's about it. I just wanted something streetable, comfortable, reliable, and that's sort of what I ended up with.
How do you find drifting the Torsen? Bit tricky?
It's a little bit tricky. Yeah, it has its moments, and I know people say that they wear out pretty quick, so I try and avoid it, but it, you know, does a job. It's all stock knuckles, stock LCAs, stock absolutely everything.
Sweet.
Yeah. It was a plan to go and buy all the fancy drift kit bits, but I wanted to try and keep it as street friendly as possible.
Yeah.
And just try and make it nice to drive. Like I've had plenty of cars in the past where you get carried away and end up to a drift car rather than a straight car.
Oh yeah,
So I wanted
that
to
is the
try
secret.
and tone it back a little.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah.
The less mods, the better.
That's it. Yeah, more street friendly.
That's very cool.
And this one is the 100 Cresta. So I haven't had this very long, but this is the current grocery getter. It's a fair bit more drivable than this one. Very dull.
It's higher. It's definitely higher.
It is, yeah, it's absolutely higher. Yeah, getting off the driveway, this one's interesting, and that one's very easy. So that's a positive, that's a win for this. But yeah, it's just bog stock other than that. Suspension, and that's it, really. Yeah.
It's an interesting color.
Yeah,
like,
apparently there's...
They're both silver, you know.
Yeah, they are. This one, somebody's resprayed. I believe it's the original color. And that one apparently was only 150 or something. that color. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Get into all that stuff, really.
When I first rocked up, you told me the selling point of this car. You got to tell these guys.
Yes, it has done 19,000 kilometers. Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah. So it's a very, very low-K car, and I've already ruined it by putting suspension on it and noisy tires and stupid stuff. But yeah, so it's a one owner. Somebody in Tokyo bought it. It's all in the logbook. It was always serviced by Toyota. Like, I think they just never drove it, really. So yeah, it was a bit of a lucky find, I think. Anyway.
Look at the seats in this thing, though. Is it unlocked?
Yeah, it's all unlocked. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not all unlocked. They've got that weird like auto locking thing that you do
Yep.
20 k's an hour or whatever in them.
I'm just gonna blame Toyota for being over-engineered of everything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they got carried away.
This is beautiful though. Look at this. It almost looks like you know when you go to visit your grandparents and they got like
Yeah,
old
that's
carpet
it. We
and
put the hat in
curtains and
for
stuff.
that exact reason. Yeah, we thought it was very fitting.
With fedoras. That's crazy. I've never even seen like that kind of pattern on interior fabric
Yeah,
before.
I mean it's pretty ugly, but I don't mind it.
Nah, it looks
It's very
cool.
period correct.
Yeah, 100% period correct.
Very mid 90s.
Cassette player? Yes.
Yeah, tapes and CDs.
Woo!
So,
Does it have like a CD stacker and stuff?
I don't think this one does. Apparently
about a
some of
fridge?
them did, but a fridge. No, it doesn't have a fridge. This is like the granddad spec. Like it's got pillared doors, and other than the Mark II and the Chasers don't. So this is the base model, I suppose. But I don't know. I like it. See
It
a lot less
is
of them,
very
so.
cool. I can't believe it's got like 19,000 kilometers. That's just
Yeah, it's nothing.
mind blowing.
Yeah. It's all like, it's still got all the airbox and everything. It's just untouched.
Oh, can I see that? I want to see an airbox.
Absolutely. You're gonna see
I've never seen a Josette airbox.
what you would have seen in the 90s if you went in a Toyota dealer. And probably the best thing that Nissan absolutely missed is bonnet struts.
Oh,
they
yeah,
didn't have
so
bonnet
good.
struts. I don't know.
I just bought them for my 32 as well because I'm like,
Great idea. Game changer. But yeah, it was so weird. I'd never seen like any of this stuff. I'd never seen this stock overflow bottle.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you imagine how much plastic is in Japan rotting away from all the
a lot of it.
JZ?
Absolutely.
All the JZ swaps of
Yeah.
people just binning them. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's obviously a very underwhelming performance, but it will never break. So
It'd be reliable as hell.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't even know what to show you guys on this. I can walk around and like just show you everything. Look at this. Look how clean that is. What the hell? That is on a weird ass angle.
Yeah, it's some funky stuff.
Yeah, what?
They were doing.
Toyota, what? Oh man. That is cool. For the record, it is a non-turbo 1J gas. Very, very rare. First time I've ever seen one in like 10 years. Ever.
Yeah, I'd never seen one until very recently. So.
Right, now this thing straight away, the second I walked down here, apart from the Z breaking my neck, this thing caught my eye. Tell us about this lady.
So this is a 1989, so CA originally, 180SX. Years ago, before I had a license, we used to ride dirt bikes. When I got a Males, I was like, I want to buy a cool car, sold the dirt bikes, and bought this in its stock form. Somebody had done an SR debt swap on it when I got it, but it was super rough. Like, clutch was toast, suspension was wrecked, everything was just destroyed. So slowly, like over the course of having Ps, I was learning a little bit about working on cars here and there, and then eventually got to the point where I wanted to just pull it apart, start again, and wanted to just do everything that I'd always done on a 180 that I'd seen on the internet, you've seen in magazines, seen it at tracks. I thought I just want to do it all on the same car, and that's what I ended up with. So maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I was pretty happy with the outcome.
I think it's rad.
Yeah.
You got your wide body, you got your sunroof.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't worry, we'll get to the red one soon.
So this is a VE Commodore front guard, so it is actually metal guard, welded onto a stock S13 guard. It was, I was driving past a Commodore one day in some traffic and I thought, hey, they might work as front fenders for something. Went on the internet, bought a pair for 70 bucks or 80 bucks or something, cut them off and welded them on. So, I've never been huge on fiberglass front fenders. I always find it so hard to get bumpers and everything to fit against fiberglass. So it's quite nice to be able to keep the original metal guards. And then everything else is just a mix, like Origin rear fenders, some, I think it's a Vertex rep front bumper, not really sure. Some of those KBD, do you know the polyurethane kits?
Yeah, KBD where you can like twist them and bend them and stuff.
Yeah, so they're KBD skirts, so they're like that plastic
oh, cool.
flexi stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if we have, do we have an Australian distributor for KBD?
No, you've got to buy it directly from them.
Gah.
Yeah.
KBD, get a Aussie distributor.
Yeah,
please.
I know, get over here. People will buy it.
We need you. We definitely need you.
People will definitely buy it. Yeah. What else? It's got a few adjustable arms and suspension and stuff, just the usual bits. Yeah. S15 dash, that was a huge thing that I always wanted to do on one of these. It had an old, gross, like cracked S13 dash.
Oh, and that's still got the 180 door cards?
Yeah, it does, yeah. It's still got the 180 door cards and just the center console dash cluster is all S15. Yeah. So I was surprised how well it actually fit. I've heard people say that it's a little bit difficult, but it wasn't too bad. Bit of trimming at the front around the windscreen and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that everywhere I'm taking a video or a photo, there is something else cool just hanging in the background.
And this one is also 2JZ.
Hey!
Surprise! It's definitely not the tidiest swap, but this was probably the first sort of major engine swap, I guess, that I ever did on a car, so lots of rough edges.
Good learning curve.
To learn from this one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it taught me a lot, and I don't know, I was relatively happy with the outcome, but it works. As you said, if it works, then there's no problem.
Yep, function over form.
Yeah, that's it.
If it looks pretty, it's a bonus.
Yeah, yeah.
If it works and you can drift it, excellent.
It'll do. Yeah, so it's just a box stock 2JZ GTE, unopened, 3582 turbo, the same Link ECU, Bosch injectors, GTI coil packs, same as all the other ones really.
So could you pretty much just ECU swap your car, buy one ECU and then just change the map?
Yes you could, and yes I do. Yeah. So there's a couple of them share one ECU, just to, it makes it easier. And
I was thinking doing the exact same thing with my cars. It's like, why would you buy like 2-3 ECUs when we're poor people, drift people?
Absolutely.
With this many cars, like.
You don't have much money. Got to do what you can. Yeah. So.
That's super clean though.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, look how close your screamer is to your steering
it all
column.
got a bit close down there. It's a bit tight, but it works. Haven't had any problems yet, so.
So if you guys are thinking of doing a JZ swap in an S chassis, do it.
Yeah,
Firstly,
do it. It's the best thing you can do to a Sylvia.
What do you use solid mounts or polyurethanes?
Just polymount. Actually, they're rubber mounts.
Rubber.
I believe, on this.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, they're just the those Golby's engine mounts.
Yep.
So.
Big shout out to Golby's. I'm sure half the catalogue of Golby's is in half these cars.
There's a lot of Golby's receipts here.
Are they all? You said that your setups are very similar.
Yes.
Have you pretty much got the same turbo on most of the setups?
Yeah, pretty much. So this one's a 35 and the R32's a 35. The 90 has one of those Pulsar G3770, I believe, is the turbo that's on that car. Again, from Unsung Performance, so thanks to them for helping with that. But yeah, they're all real similar sizes, just 0.8 rear. To me, it seems to be the right size for this engine. I'm sure there's people that disagree, or everybody
has their own
preference.
preferences, how they want to drive, how much response they want, how much power they want.
Yeah, but they seem relatively responsive. Like
how do you find the Mamba versus the Pulsar?
They're similar. The Pulsar makes lots of great noises, so if you're somebody that loves turbo noises, buy a Pulsar. But I've had the Mamba ones for a few years on different cars and different setups, and literally never had a problem with them. So I know you get the usual buy a Garrett, buy a Precision, whatever. As you said, we're drifters, we're all broke. So I'd rather buy one of these, and then if it lasts half as long, they're half the price. And you get the joy of a big box arriving on your door, and you pull it open, there's a fresh turbo, and it's all exciting. So yeah, we haven't had any problem with them.
So I want to give you guys just a couple of little pointers if you do want to do JZs into S chassis or even R chassis. Just things that I'm sure Matt can back me up or help me out with here. Straight up, well, I can't remember if we said it in the other one, but thermostats in these and AU thermos are gold. If you can get like Billion, or you said Mishimoto.
Yes, yeah, it's a Mishimoto
really
thermostat.
low temp thermostat,
Yep.
so like 68 degree kind of thermostats. If you do swirl pots, so you cut up the water neck housing, and have your own swirl pot, so you've got like a bleeding spot, because sometimes, I don't know about yours,
Yeah.
but mine, I always, every now and then I'd get air bubbles in the back
Absolutely.
water lines.
Real awkward on these.
And then water lines on these go, I don't know about exactly 2Js, I might be wrong here, but the water lines go back around, and sometimes they come over to the, I can't remember the exact name for it, but it's like the heat transfer oil relocator thing.
That's it.
A lot of the guys delete it and put sandwich plates on them. I think, okay, this one doesn't have it.
That one's gone. Yeah, I didn't bother with it on this one.
Yeah, so Matt's smart and got rid of it straight away. It's pretty much used for like snowy conditions and stuff to heat up your oil when the car's cold. The 32 still has it on it, actually.
It does. Yeah.
There you go, there's another one. I can't remember the exact name. TRC throttle bodies. If you get the older school ones out of the JZs, they don't have like cruise control and like the extra butterfly. And then the later ones had like the fly-by-wire and the extra butterfly and stuff.
Actually, what these had originally.
Yeah.
It had all that motor on there for that electric. It's like a drive-by-wire, but it's cable assisted. So you can open the throttle like 10% or something with the cable if the motor fails, but you can't open them fully.
Yeah.
It's nice and simple. I can't have any problems with electronics that I don't control, so pretty much just disconnected.
Do you notice? I don't know, because you've got so many JZs here, so I'm having fun asking you so many questions. So because you've gone most of them with the wires compared to maybe one or two of them that still have the fly-by throttle control.
Yes.
Do you find you get like the 0.3 of a second of lag? Like, can you feel any form of lag?
It's hard to say. For me, no, because all of the cars are slightly different.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell whether it is that or whether it's from the weight of the car. It could be anything, but as I say, I've never had a problem with the cable, so I just stick with it. Just make it simple.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about underneath. Does it have any lock mods, LCAs?
It has extended LCAs, 25mm. I just bought a kit from RB Factory, I believe, just the welded-in spacer, so it has those. It's stock knuckles still, just has rack offset spaces. These, obviously, S chassis people know they have notorious over-centering issues, which is horrible, so the offset spaces do fix that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for suspension in the front. In the rear, it's just adjustable, camber, toe, usual stuff.
Still running the R200 one-piece tail shaft and R154?
No, this is a TR6060. So this is, the big boy gearbox.
The very expensive one.
Yeah, I got a good deal on it from a friend, so that was how I ended up with that.
And you said this car is what, 10 years old? 40?
Yeah, it's nearly 10 years old that I've owned it. So.
How long did it take you to do from the SR to the JZ conversion?
Like,
did you own the car for like 4 years and eventually blow it up and then go, oh, I'm gonna go J, or like what kind of?
It was. I never actually had a problem with the SR.
Yep.
But in the old 180 drift car that I had, that was also SR20, and I had endless issues like overheating problems, electrical problems. So I am one of those people that doesn't like SR20s. Sorry, to the people on the internet that do. And at the time,
we can be friends.
Yeah, we can all get along.
I'm sorry, internet. No, I like SR20s too. I'll shut up.
Me too. I don't want to own one, but they're great. It's good to see.
It's great for a daily car.
Yeah, exactly. And I know why people like them. I think the lightweight thing absolutely is an advantage over having a big heavy engine like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing was just for reliability. I managed to get a non-VVTi 1J pretty cheaply for that car and just chucked it in, like box stock, still had the twin turbos, all that sort of thing. Just as simple and low cost as I could. And then never had a problem with it, and it kind of just went from there and just became a big fan of JZ engines. And yeah, so that was how they ended up in everything. But this car, I did pull the SR out to do a J swap. Took the engine out, sold the engine. I was like, great, cool, here we go. I'll be done in a year or something. Pretty much got pushed on the back burner immediately and just sat as a rolling shell for too long. I did have an RX-7 in the middle, which that's been and gone. And
FC, FD?
An FC, yeah. Ooh. So that was a 1J, but it had cams and a few bits and pieces. So that was going to be the engine for this car originally, but it ended up in the FC. The FC got sold, and then ended up with this instead. So once I actually got into it and brought the shell into the shed and started working on it, it was probably 6 to 8 months, something like that, to get to this stage. But that's all the paint, panel, everything. So yeah, it was a little bit of a process, but got there in the end.
Well worth it.
Yeah. That's it.
Alright, Matt, we are at the holy grail of Hot Boy.
That's it, that's it.
This is, you said, the newest car you've got, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, so this has been going on for the last 6 months, 7 months, something like that. Yeah, so this is the latest creation, but the maybe the party piece, I'll say, is under here. It is an SR20 for you Nissan Silvia fanboys who love SR20s. I know you've been complaining so far with the amount of JZs. I lied, it's another one.
Yes!
But we're gonna play a game. I have a game for you.
Okay, yep.
Alright, what JZ is this?
Oh god, don't do it to me.
Same for you people on the internet. What JZ is that? Just by looking at it. Don't skip to the end.
Chat, what is it? I'm gonna have a guess in a second. Like, I'm leaning towards maybe like a 1.5J or something.
You're kinda close. Kinda close. Rusty S13 bonnet stay.
The Whack-a-Pole.
There we are. That's a branded product, see? This is actually a 1.2 JZ.
1.2 JZ?
Yeah, so the head is a 2JZ GE non-VVTi head, so non-turbo head, and the bottom end is a 1JZ GTE block pistons, whatever. So it's 2.5 litre with an NA plus T head.
I've been hearing about this.
Yeah, so
the mythology was originally the mythology behind the JZs was 2 JZ bottom end for the torque displacement and then 1 JZ for the higher RPM and better flow. Correct. Apparently.
Yes,
and
yeah,
now
apparently.
Guys are now switching it around. Apparently someone deproved it and...
Yeah, there was a guy, pretty much, again, I'm sure internet people are going to tell me this is wrong, but the only person I can find that's really done this was Drift Motion in the States. But they used the 2JZ GTE head on the 1JZ bottom end. So, to my knowledge, I don't know of anybody that's done it with the NA head. I'm sure somebody has. The internet's a big place. But that was kind of the reason behind doing it, partly for something different.
That is rad.
Yeah, and also that these have much bigger inlet valves than the GTE engines, and that the ports are actually at much better angles as well, or we think. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. We think it should just flow a lot better than the turbo heads, but who knows? It's all an experiment. Yeah. So
you literally have almost every single configuration, so
yeah,
you can test
we tried to get
what's
them all.
the note difference, the RPM difference, which one rips the better skid.
We should get some good data over all of them, hopefully. Yeah, so it's just a stock bottom end, stock 1JZ GT bottom end. It's got a 272 cams in it, so we were thinking that should lend itself relatively well to being the 2.5 litre bottom end. Should want to rev and make some power, hopefully. We'll see.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then the usual T56, twin plate clutch, R200, standard stuff. Yeah, so this is sort of, I don't know, this is maybe my baby, I suppose you would say.
It is so clean.
Yeah, so I tried to put in a fair bit more effort with this one, with the engine bay, and yeah, come up with something a little bit nicer to look at when you open the bonnet. So.
Did you do the tubs yourself?
Yes, yeah, so they're the Otaku garage or something, like they're...
Yep.
They come pre-bent and then you just weld them in, so I thought it looked a bit nicer than not having inner guards, but...
Nice.
It worked, it worked.
Does look very nice. Holy steering rack spacer.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
Batman. That's crazy.
Yeah, So we're getting there. It runs and it does drive. It needs tuning, but we're sorting that soon. So it will be on the way, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be disappointing. Hopefully it won't. But yeah,
I'll keep you guys updated.
Absolutely, yeah. And then the plan is to drift it. So
hell yes.
People will probably see it getting around once it's on.
I need an invite to that one.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
So if something works, guys, use it. Like, looking at all Matt's setups, they're not identical, but they're similar in terms of, I'm guessing another power steering cooler?
Yes, it's another power steering cooler.
Yep. So you've pretty much gone with similar setups for what works. And AU thermos?
Yes, AU thermostat, same
Ishimoto.
Thermostat, sorry, AU fans. Yeah, power steering cooler, the underdrive body.
Wow, yeah. Whoa, trippy.
Yeah, so just waiting on an alternator to come back. So ignore the belt and whatever, it was a bit of a dud, so.
It's so weird that the water net comes out the opposite side.
Yeah, it's really strange with the GEs, but it worked very well with the SR radiator.
Do they do that? I've never seen an NA or a 2J, that's not my realm. The distributors with the NAs.
Yes.
Is it because they're in the way?
Yes, because the distributor actually goes round in here. There's just a plug that blocks it off.
Yep.
So usually it goes into the head.
Oh, so the distributor does go pretty much where the water net goes along the turbos. Okay,
yep.
sweet.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they've got this weird little like water bypass pipe here.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one because the 2J and 1J blocks are different heights.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll change like the cooling displacement and the capacity and all that kind of stuff.
We'll see. Not 100% sure. So far from totally not driving it down the road, it doesn't get hot or anything.
Yep.
So it's kind of promising so far, but I guess once it goes on the dyno, that'll be the first big test, really.
Very cool.
Yeah, then otherwise it's HSD Driftworks coilovers on this one, GK Tech steering kit or lock kit. What else? Yeah, the rear's all GK Tech stuff as well. We just haven't had any problem with it. It's easy to get here, so if you have any problems, you can get on the internet, have it in a few days, or somebody at the track might be able to lend you something, get you out of a problem.
What brakes are you still using?
These are R32, I believe, GTST brakes. Yeah, so nice. All the other ones are all R32 and S14, but I believe these are R33 because they are fractionally bigger. That's what I was told.
I haven't been paying attention. What have you been doing for your handbrake setups? Have you still drum brake, disc brake?
Yeah, it's just drum brakes on all of them. I hate hydros.
Nice.
They're not for me. Sorry, hydro people.
There's a lot of apologies today.
Yeah. But we started, when I had the other car, the old purple 180, it just had the old S13 like sliding caliper handbrake on it, and it was awful. So I just had to try and learn to not use the handbrake. But then obviously when the cars get a little bit quicker and you want to use it and you start driving with other people, it's kind of handy to have.
I think that's one of my favourite mods I've ever done to my 180 when I done the JZ swap, is going R33 rear drum brake.
Yeah, it makes such a big difference.
World of difference compared to like cable.
Yeah, yeah, really, really big difference. Yeah, so they're all just on the same drum handbrake. Yeah.
How cool are they?
Hey.
How cool are they? You have the best of both their chassis worlds.
Thanks.
No 14s or 15s, but nah.
Yeah,
this is
one day.
Golden era 90s.
Maybe. If somebody wants to sell me an S15 cheap, get at me. I'll get one.
I'll leave Matt's details in the description for you. They're not for sale currently though, so don't go try and lowball him.
No.
It's not happening.
Actually, the X90's for sale. If anybody is in the market for a too-low street car with a 2JZ in it and a bunch of stuff, let me know.
There you go.
I'll send you some details and yeah, we can work that out. This isn't a sell post, so.
Yeah. This is a porn post. I mean, I wonder if I get flagged for that. So we're gonna get Matt's dad down and he's gonna run us through these two, which are his. I'm gonna give you a quick look at this before we get him down here.
Hello.
I know all the purists, blasphemy, sacrilege. I think it's freaking awesome. I was not expecting to see a Z here today. Or a JZ powered, I don't even know what it is. What is it? Chevy?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he going to do like the, I can't remember what it's called, channeling the roof, the crop,
like
cut
the
top?
chop top thing.
Yeah, chop top.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so he's going to leave it like that?
Yeah.
What's his plan for the back tub? Like wood
the
or?
original tray
Oh,
over there.
sick.
Yeah, so it's all got the original tray and original front end. So we'll go back on.
I think it's safe to say I'm losing my mind over this car. Note to self, clearances of JZ in 240Z. Fits mint.
When it's over, I got someplace that I gotta be. won't leave. My friends say, get out of your comfort zone. It's a blessing in disguise. Get out of what you call home. Your name is written in the sky. It might feel just like you're on your own, but baby, it's another lie. Remember, you were made. I try to work, but it doesn't work. I try to say something, but there's no word. I try to justify my actions, less reactions, heartbeat raising. Oh, it doesn't work. The doctor says take some pills, but this is not how it's supposed to feel. Upside down and in and out, I guess I have to take a break. Get out of your comfort zone, it's a blessing in disguise. Get out of what you call.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah. Okay, so these two here are your pride and joy?
Well, I'm not sure about pride and joy. I've had a bit of grief with a pair of them, really. I do use the 240Z a lot, though. Yeah, that's got the 2JZ in it, so it's quite entertaining. It's good fun and kind of suits me. It's but the motor itself really suits the car. Yeah, it drives fine. It's good fun, and yeah, excellent.
And you done the conversion yourself?
Yeah, I do most of the sort of things myself. The same as Matt, really.
So you gave Matt the bug?
Well, I'm not really sure. I was fine until he came along. You know, for 40 years of my life, I was perfectly normal, and then Matt popped along. Yeah, so it all went downhill after that.
So
yeah.
where'd the love for the JZs come from?
I suppose from doing the original drift car. I don't know whether Matt showed you that or not, but we had a 180 with a 1J in it, and I realised pretty quickly that the 1Js and 2Js are just a great engine, a great platform, and so we ended up. Luckily we did it a few years ago, so it was at a time when they were kind of affordable, so we collected up quite a few of them, and then we started playing about with 2JZ GEs and turboing them and making 1.5 JZ GTEs, and which is what's actually in the old truck, the old Chevy Ute here.
Yep.
It's when I first got it, it was kind of an original left-hand drive import with leaf springs back and front, drum brakes. It felt like it was probably about a metre off the ground was the whole truck. The engine was seized and just not much use really at all. I didn't really want to use it in that kind of form. So it suddenly became, why do we put a JZ in it? It's the obvious thing, we've got them, why do we put one in? So that was okay, but I didn't really want to use the old leaf springs either, so we suddenly decided to do away with those.
Yeah, Matt told me you guys got a little creative with this. It's
With the
more
well, we
Toyota
spent
than
the
Chevy,
time with
isn't
the
it?
grinder and welder. Yes, we did. Probably far too much.
That's
it ended-
ingenious.
Well, I'm not sure about genius or pure madness.
I
'cause
will credit you as a genius.
Well, it was more a case of it's somebody that we knew that was wrecking a Sora, and we thought, well, that sounds like the ideal opportunity to make it half Sora, half Chevy.
The JZZ30 Sora?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
so
it's
for the record-
Sora front end and Sora rear end.
Let's show these guys.
Okay, well, it's got an alloy cross member.
Yep.
I don't know whether you'll be able to see because it's nearly dark. Alloy cross member, that's all stock Sora. Lower control arms, upper control arms. It comes pretty well as a complete unit, so it makes it great for this kind of thing because you can bolt it straight in. Well, other than you've got to make some strut towers and things like that, but pretty well it bolts straight in. The track width is almost exactly the same.
The track width between the Chevy and the Sora are almost
It's
identical.
more or less the same thing.
That's
And that
crazy.
was another problem. If I converted something else to fit, most of the cars are too narrow.
Yeah.
Falcon would have worked, but there's a lot more engineering work that's needed to make it fit.
Yep.
The Sora was great because it just went straight in. The rear end is Sora as well, but it took a lot more fabrication. A bit more time with the angle grinder and a hammer. Yeah.
So what diff did you end up going with?
It's the original Sora diff.
Original Sora diff?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Sora tail shaft and stuff as well?
No, we had to get a tail shaft made, but that was fairly straightforward.
Yep.
So other than the fact that it's got BC shocks that are front and back, we're hoping that it should just be pretty well like driving the Sora. I don't know. It's hard to imagine looking at it like this, but I see no reason why not. It's got Sora brakes, Sora cross member, everything's Sora other than the BC shocks.
Be like a Chevy GT.
Sort of, but it might go down the road
GT.
little sideways because we kind of put
Yes.
it together.
Oh
so it's probably,
God,
perhaps
this is
not
gonna be so cool.
straight. Yeah, but it might always be permanently going down one way or the other way, sort of crabbing.
Look, I
along.
don't think anybody that's currently watching this is going to complain.
Yeah,
What do you guys reckon?
Just look at it when it's parked.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I would lose my mind if I saw this sideways.
Well,
We've talked about it. We have mentioned trying that. Yeah.
the inspiration for this, I've got to lay the blame at one person particularly, and I'm thinking a guy called Brent Massey that most of you will know. And a few years ago, Brent had an F100 with a turbo LS1 motor in it, and I think from memory he used Sora suspension front and rear, and so we kind of used that as a bit of inspiration, really. Yeah. So that's kind of the Chevy. It was originally a left-hand drive. It's in the process of being converted over to a right-hand drive.
Is there much work involved in converting them?
More work for the angle grinder, really, and the welder. We haven't really done much about it yet because I need to cut the section out the dash.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are you
Some
going
of the
to...
section out the right-hand side, and then just transfer over left to right and vice versa.
Is the end goal to leave it in like a nice rustic kind of
Yeah,
look?
it'll be like that. Yeah,
Okay.
very similar to that. Yeah. So this one's a 1.5 JZ as well. So it's a 2J GE bottom end and a 1JZ GTE top end.
Nice.
So obviously there's lots of work needs doing yet to it, but yeah.
At least you guys got all your J's before tax hit.
Yeah, we're lucky with that. Yeah, we've got a couple tucked away for a rainy day in there.
That's a good idea. They're going to be crazy to get Sunday. I think I paid the $800. I bought a full JZZ30 Sora for... I bought 3 of them actually and got most of my JZs out of Soras as well.
Really?
For
Yeah.
$800, and now you're looking at $3-4 grand for the same J without the car.
Yeah.
In mystery
exactly.
condition and stuff,
Yeah,
so...
I know.
Even the value of these,
Yeah, 240Z.
240Zs has gone through the roof.
Yeah. Well, this one actually came from a friend of mine that lived out in a rural property up at Mergen.
Yep.
He bought it new in 1971, drove it as a 240Z for quite a long time from what he told me, and then just gradually, to be honest, got quite bored with the engine. It's just the original 2.4,
Yep.
6-cylinder L24 thing.
Do you have a name for any of your cars, guys? Like, any of your cars got nicknames?
That one is called Ronald.
Ronald? Ronald?
That is Ronald, which has kind of stuck because when I bought it, it was red and yellow.
Ronald.
So McDonald's,
White,
Ronald McDonald.
yeah.
But otherwise, usually just referred by colour. It's probably the easiest thing.
Yeah, I tend to refer to mine as old shit heaps, but I don't know, that's not necessarily really a name.
Well, that sort of covers all of them. It's like
It
a
does
blanket
really.
term, yeah.
It's just a generic
Yeah.
name for my fleet, really. Yeah. But no, we don't. We haven't got names.
So, you gotta tell me a little bit more about the setup in this one. So this one's 2J.
Yeah, that's 2JZ VVTi. So originally would have been a twin turbo from an Aristo. Yeah, would have been originally where they came from. Japanese import engine. So that had a bit of most of the engines that we've got. We usually do a rebuild on them before we put them back in. Just a fairly basic freshen up. Often, sometimes we put cams and forged rods and pistons and things in.
Yep.
This one isn't. It's a fairly stock 2JZ GTE. It's got injectors and an ECU and things. It's slightly bigger turbo.
Do I use Link or Haltech?
Link.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
I like that nod of approval there.
well,
I don't know why he's looking at me.
the thing that it is, I mean, the bizarre thing about it is we've got all these cars. They've all got Link ECUs, except that they haven't. I think we've got like 10 cars, and we've got probably
there's a
3.
few.
We got
There's a
3
few.
ECUs
Yeah,
or
there's a
4
few, just like
ECUs. So we tended to
I was talking about earlier, just
Yeah.
swap the ECUs around.
Yeah, it
Just
makes
change
it a lot
the
easier.
maps.
Yeah, that's right. Just change the map and away you go. Yeah, so it's 2JZ GTE, just an R154, which is a little bit basic, but it kind of suits the car. You know, they're kind of a little bit of an
old school
agricultural-
truck box.
It's that kind of thing,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's long throw. It's slow to change gear, 5 speeds, and but it kind of suits the car really.
Did
so
you also go R200 diff in it?
Yeah, this has got an R200 now, and it's got
Nice.
what have we got? Sylvia shafts. I had to shorten the shafts because
Yeah.
the track width's quite narrow on this, so I just chopped and shortened the shafts. Sylvia brakes on the back.
Yeah, you've got
It's-
S13 on the back, S14 on the front.
Yeah, that's it.
Remember?
S14 on the front. What else have we got? That's pretty well it.
Yeah, it's
I mean-
BC's, same thing, BC Golds.
Yeah. Some of the things that.
Oh, there, you'd have to weld them in, yeah? The BC Golds?
Yes, you
Yep.
do. Yeah, that's
I had to
right.
do that one
yeah.
too.
Have you done that?
I've had to do it,
yours?
yeah. Not a fun time.
No. But I mean, some of the little things that turned out, I'm not sure whether Datsun thought of this in the 1970s, but they put sort of convenient holes in under the slam
They
panel
did,
there,
yeah.
so you can flip an intercooler upside down and put the intercooler pipework through that. So that was very convenient. But yeah,
Can't see
otherwise
it with the up on
it's
it.
just reasonably stock. There's nothing particularly special about the car. Slightly bigger brakes. Yeah, R200 and
That's
the
awesome.
2JZ GTE. Yeah.
I like how you guys might not be able to see it too much, but you've kept the nice rustic look to it that actually
Yeah.
works really well with the livery that you kind of threw on the side of it as well. Oh, sorry, not threw it on.
That was placed, that was.
Lovingly placed.
Yeah, it was. That was it. No, there's actually a hole under there, but never mind. It's all right.
Like maybe the
We check the sills. Yep.
best.
Classic sill replacement.
Yeah, Matt's got a favourite.
This dent right here, which
Yep.
is the classic. If you've ever worked on cars, you've definitely shot a bonnet on a socket or
Oh
something.
no!
Which wasn't us.
No, it
so
wasn't.
Oh,
many
okay,
That was
years ago.
done by
Yeah,
Ken,
yeah.
the original owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people always say to me, when are you going to get it painted? But I'm probably, it's a horrible colour, it's hideous. But I'm probably not going to get it painted. I just think, well, it's kind of how it is. If you don't like it, well, go and look at a red one or a white one or a green one or whatever.
I think it's rad. Not many people are getting around with a nice character Z. Like all of them do the pretty, paint job, full
Yeah,
restoration.
exactly. There's lots of
Park it in a
those.
garage queen kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like it. This reminds me of mine.
I just want to go and, do my thing up in the mountain. I'm always around during the week when there's not too many people around, and
Yeah.
it's just, I don't want a fancy paint job because it's only going to go one way from there, isn't it? Well, it is for me. I just tend not to look after things as well as I should do. So I'd rather just leave it like this. It's taken 50 years to get to look like this, so I'll just leave it.
Yeah, it's doing well. The clear coat's holding up well. Better than mine.
In patches, you've got a good bit there actually, but
Oh yes, okay. So I thought maybe because my car's been ex-drift car, it was something to do with the chassis kind of breaking itself apart. But it seems to be a
Yeah.
fairly common Z thing.
It is. They always get that. It's worse on the other side, actually. I think that's
I got
worse.
the same
We
thing.
don't have to look at the worst one.
It gives me a little bit of reassurance of mine that the butt of my car may or may not break off.
Is yours finished then and driving?
Yeah. So it is registered.
Do you drive it then?
Yeah,
You use
yeah.
it? Do
It's
you?
usually my daily, but I need to find a new exhaust manifold at the moment because the L28 manifold isn't. I used an EFI manifold on the carbs, doesn't
Yeah.
sit correctly, and I had to bash the crap out of it like 12 hours before a race event. So we got it working, but slowly leaking again.
So sorry, which side are you looking for? The inlet or the exhaust?
Exhaust.
Oh, are you? You don't happen to know if it's the same as a 24? Is it the 24 the same or not?
I am.
Just if you were stuck for one.
We got
before it goes
sidetracked,
to
but I
the
just want to show you guys something. Check this out. 10 points for anyone in chat that guesses what it is. This is great.
Oh, could you do it as a free giveaway? If someone can name what it is, they can come pick it up.
Oh,
They can have
I
it.
could. Do you want me to do it? Is it going to be in there long?
Nobody's going to want that.
There's the weekender, guys. No JZ yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Not yet. Well, there's a cam cover sat on there.
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
We've measured it. That's it.
Right, you might be able to see the gas. There you go. Thank you guys so much for having us.
That's not a problem. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, please like the video. Keep these coming. We're going to have a whole bunch of these features coming in the next couple of weeks. So I hope you enjoy them, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.
Nobody's going to want that.
Oh man, I don't know. The Z purists are pretty crazy. Oh, I gave him a hint. Whoops.
Yeah, so
It's so cool, guys.
that's all mad.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me and showing me
Oh,
your toys. It's amazing.